Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Clean fighters that lost. Two in particular that we're talking about, because someone put something in the comments. They were talking about Rolly Romero and Pitbull Cruz. And they were saying how Rolly Romero, to them, looked like a clean fighter who was up against a fighter who may not have been clean. Just because of the work rate and the power that Pitbull Cruz showed from the first second of the first round up until the last second of the fight in the 8th round. Now, to that I say is, I understand how a person could want to jump to the conclusion that when an opponent gets so overwhelmed and tranquilized the way Rolly Romero did, I can understand how someone would say, damn, maybe this person may have been doing something foul. Now, at the same time, I got to drop the don't take it to the stupid on you. Because Rolly Romero, if you look at the pictures of him in sparring with 16-ounce gloves on, Rolly Romero's getting hurt, getting knocked down. You know, he's punch drunk. He likes to call people punchy. Rolly Romero's punchy. Okay? He got in there with a guy, Pitbull Cruz. And Pitbull Cruz just showed us that Rolly Romero is Rolly Roadrunner Romero or Rolly Amir Khan Romero now. If Rolly was a killer at some point in time, maybe he's still a killer puncher, but not a killer fighter. Because he's turned into Rolly Amir Khan Romero. Whatever kind of sparring he was doing to help fast track him to get beyond that inexperienced bubble, right? It worked, but it took something out of him. Rolly Romero left a pound of flesh in the gym. And he just obviously doesn't have the chin he once had. Now, I'm going to tell you this. He didn't go down. But that tells me that Pitbull Cruz has respectable power, but he doesn't possess the one-hitter quitter. At least not on Rolly Romero. Anyway, when you talk about clean fighters that lost, you're talking about Deontay Wilder, Francis Ngannou, right? These are the two names that came up when people start talking about it. And I was like, well, hold your horses. Why would you even talk about Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou are clean fighters that lost? We know they're clean. There's no doubt about that. The power that Deontay Wilder possesses, the power that Francis Ngannou possess, that's just something they were born with. It's a gift from God, all right? And if you don't believe in God, what is it? It's just a gift from the spirits. Anyway, it made me stop and think, well, damn. When you talk about Tyson Fury, of course, we all have an opinion about Tyson Fury. Some don't believe Tyson Fury would step on an ant. All of us believe Tyson Fury would kill anything and everything to get to the top of wherever it is he desires to get to, right? But then you think about Anthony Joshua. I think he's clean, but there's a lot of people who feel not some foul business there with Anthony Joshua. Talking about his appearance, talking about steroids, right? Talking about peds, all kind of stuff. And my thing is, I hear the rumors. I hear the conversation, right? There's no proof about anybody today doing anything. As far as in the past, we can always have a conversation, right? But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who have things to say about that. Even Joseph Parker, people have things to say about that. But the bottom line is, no one has said anything about Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou. And they're like, what if we could shake this boxing world upside down or this combat sports world upside down? And all the fighters who have been cheating, right, to give themselves an unfair advantage. What if we could shake this shit upside down and see who would come tumbling out as cheats, and who, when we turn it back upside, we see who's still remaining, standing there on their feet, loud and proud and loud as hell, saying, I'm a clean fighter. I tell you what, I tend to think it wouldn't be many. It wouldn't be many. And I do believe Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou will be two who will be standing there loud and proud, upside, saying, you know what, I never cheated. And it's a travesty that these kind of things happen in boxing. But I guess the good thing is, when these guys lay their head at night to rest, they know that they never had to cheat to get an advantage, and everything they've accomplished, doesn't matter what we think about the opposition in the ring, in the octagon. Everything they've accomplished was just off of their hard work. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I think about myself, man. Now, of course, not as a fighter and shit like that. I can't compare myself to what these guys have done and are doing, right? But I can compare myself as far as somebody who's reached a certain position in his career, like those guys. And let me tell you something, man. I had a person tell me one day, right? He was like, you know what? He called me by my name. Let's just say he called me Hood, right? You know what, Hood? You know, to get to the top, you need to kind of have some people looking out for you. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, well, you know, everybody has like their own kind of team. You know, he's like, you need to get in with the circle. You need to be part of a circle. That way you can have people to protect you and look out for you. And I was like, so what are you talking about? Like, he's like, well, you know, you see sometimes white people look out for, this is a real conversation somebody had with me. You see how white people kind of look out for each other. Sometimes you see black people look out for each other. You see the Filipinos look out for each other. The Hispanics look out for each other. He's like, that's in the military. He's like, so you got to have somebody who's kind of from your circle in certain positions of power. So when your name come across somewhere, at least you have somebody there who's looking out for you and fighting for you so that you can get to the next level, right? And I said, I hear you, but that ain't how I operate. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised that way. So I said, I don't think I should have to sit here and force myself upon a group of people based on origin, religion, race, economic status, political affiliation, career field, whatever. I said, I don't feel I should have to do that in order for me to achieve success. I said, if I have to do that, then I ain't going to go too far. I said, but I've done pretty good without being part of an A team or being attached or inserted into some kind of circle. Like I always joke about the secret society, some kind of fucking society. And I was like, so, you know, I said, I'll tell you what, if there's 10 positions for something and they rank me number 11 and I miss out on the opportunity, I'm cool with that, knowing that I'm doing things my way. I was like, I focus more on trying to communicate effectively, written and verbal. I try to focus more on having the right attitude, being respectful, responsible, reliable, and having discipline, which is doing something I don't want to do like I love it. I said, which a lot of times in the military I have to do it. I was like, so as long as I play my card right, I think things could work out. So that really, from what you're telling me, is if out of 10 people they rank me number 3, that really means I'm number fucking 1. And he just got quiet. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, that I just thought this shit was blasphemous, that these are the things that were happening, because to be honest, I was totally oblivious to some of that shit. But then as I, you know, progressed through the ranks, and I went as high you could go on the enlisted side, right? You couldn't go any higher. And I remember sitting in a briefing one day, and I saw people in there where they were working together to bring one person or 2 people down, and they were working together to build up their folks. And I said, this is fucking horrible. And there's nothing I can do, because there were those people who had their own circles and they had their own little teams and they were looking out. So if there were 4 quarters in the year and there were, so each quarter, these groups, people from sections sit down and they have quarterly awards. And there'll be like 4 representatives in there, right? A representative from each section that had somebody who was up for the award. And a guy like me who don't get, I chose not to get involved with those fuckheads, you know, because a lot of them are fucking clowns. But the other 3, they were intimidated by me anyway, because I knew my shit and my people really did what they were supposed to. They would get together and they would sit there and say, okay, this quarter, let's work together. It'll be a 3-to-1 vote for your guy. Next quarter, 3-to-1 vote for our guy. Next quarter, 3-to-1 vote for their guy. And then this guy over here, Hood, his guy will never get in. And that's what they used to do. And it makes me think about this shit with boxing when it comes to people coming together and finding ways to twist and mold and cheat and do crazy shit to make sure their guy or their guys get different turns and opportunities to bubble up and keep moving up the ladder and progressing. Where the other guys who aren't involved in that shit, they don't get the opportunity. It's just off of their hard work. And really, when you look at these guys who are probably on a racket stack of 1 through 10, being ranked number probably, I'd say 6 through 10, most of those guys probably have clean noses. The other ones, who knows what's really going on with them. But that being said, clean fighters that lost, you know what? Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou, they may be clean fighters that lost. When you think about everything, with all the conversations that are out there, they may, no kidding, whether you like them or not, may be the only guys out there, or two of the few, who aren't really doing any of that crazy shit. Any of those steroids and all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I heard a person say about Deontay Wilder is, oh, he brings a weapon in the ring every time because his right hand is reinforced with titanium because he broke it, so they put titanium rods in his hand. So basically he has a bionic fist. So when he hits somebody, it's like basically someone getting shot with a sawed-off shotgun. Yo, to that I say, in the most respectful way, that you hold your horses and quit taking it to the stupid. Anyone who believes that is probably the kind of guy who gets out the shower, takes a piss, then jumps back in the shower. The fuck out of here with that. Clean fighters that lost. I'm sure there's a lot of them. And when you go back and you take a look at the history of boxing, it shit has happened. And it happens right now. And you can say, well, where's your privilege, champion? Post the link. Man, get out of here. God damn it, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to prove nothing. Just go back and goddamn read that article with Usman Sajjad. Was just talking about boxing, period. Not just in the UK, but boxing, period. This guy's a goddamn doctor. He knows how to skirt the system. Cheating been going on forever. It's going on now. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Contis and Heredias, what they've done. Who knows what's going on right now? You want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but these guys are pharmaceutical geniuses. And if you're not on that circuit, man, I don't give a goddamn. You're probably at a disadvantage getting in a fight against somebody who's on that circuit and who's taking these goddamn power-ups. You know what I'm saying? It's simple, man. But anyway, Deontay Wilder, Ngannou, I'm sure there are other fighters out there who've taken losses and probably didn't deserve to lose. Who've had the shit beat out of them and probably didn't deserve to have the shit beat out of them. I heard people talking about Terrence Crawford. He was on sale. He may have been something. He had to take a power-up. What I'll say is he probably had an advantage having a pharmaceutical genius in his corner who knew how to put together the proper supplementation strategy to make sure that he could perform at a peak level and get an outcome that was what he wanted. Earl Spence was doing a lot of things on his own. Earl Spence was doing a lot of things that wasn't conducive to someone who's being a boxer. You know what I'm saying? That's by his own admittance. But I will always say, whenever someone has one of these pharmaceutical geniuses in their corner, I mean, hey, I'd have to side with that fighter to win over someone who doesn't. Now, if it's two fighters and each have their own pharmaceutical genius, well, expect a mash-up, crash-up, because I mean, who can get there first, goddammit? And that's really what we're dealing with. That being said, y'all keep cool. I know everybody wants to be so quick to say somebody's juicing, somebody's on peds, someone ate the goddamn egg from a chicken. Somebody kind of bend themselves, but listen. There's all kind of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, if there's no proof, it is what it is. But sometimes there's some smoke, and I don't need to see the goddamn fire that knows fire's nearby once I see the goddamn smoke. And there's some smoke out there. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.